Hello and welcome back to Miss Finance. What I thought we'd do today is have a look at a VAT control account in a T account and how we actually translate that into a VAT return, which might help when trying to put two and two together when doing your studies. So let's jump straight into it. So I'm going to just create a T account very quickly. Okay, I've got to get them symmetrical and I'm going to call this a VAT control account. Okay, so what we're going to have over here is sales, and then we're going to have purchase returns. Over here we're going to have purchases, and over here we're going to have sales return. So our purchases were £120,000 of VAT. If you are actually having a look at a question, they might say to you, okay, net purchases were 500k and VAT at 20% was charged. So you might have to work this out in the exam, which is very easy to do. You just take 500,000 times by 0.2. So actually let's change that to £100,000. Next they might turn around to you and say that sales gross were £350,000. VAT has been charged at 20%, so what's the VAT? So the VAT in this case, if you're given gross, you take 350,000 and divide that by 1.2 to get your net. So if we do that quickly, 350,000 divided by 1.2, that's the net amount. So if I was to times that by 0.2, I'd get my VAT amount. So let's put that there. And if you want to check, if you just do an equals sum, you'll get back to 350 grand there. Okay. Imagine also with this, you're told that sales returns in the month were 10% of the total sales made in that month. So if sales returns are 10% of total sales, we've already worked out the VAT for those sales. So we're going to go 58333.33 times by 10%. Dead quick way of doing that equals 58333.33 times by 0.1. And that's the VAT element of those sales returns. So that's on this side. The reason why sales returns is on the left and not on the right is because sales returns reduces the total sales amount. So it's the same with why purchase returns is on the right and not on the left, because purchase returns reduces the amount of purchase VAT that you can reclaim back from HMRC. Let's imagine here that purchase returns are actually only £1,000 in total. If the VAT on those purchase returns was only at 5%, we'd take £1,000 times by 0.05. So if that £1,000 was at net, that is, then that's going to equal 50 there. So if we tally all of these up here, we have 105,833 and 5833. So by looking at that, just ask yourself quickly, do we owe HMRC money or do they owe us? And I'll show you a very quick way of knowing. So if this side on the left is higher than this side on the right, it means that HMRC owes us, because to clear this down, to make this 105 here, your journal entries would have to be debit bank for the receipt from HMRC and credit VAT control account. So our balance carried forward here is the 47,450. So if it was the other way around and sales was more than the purchases side, then we would owe HMRC. So if you're ever struggling, then that's a very good, quick, easy way of working that out. We've got this in a VAT control account, but what does that look like in an actual VAT return? So this is just going to be very quick. So I'm going to pop that down here. VAT due in the period on sales goes in what we call box 1, and then VAT due on acquisitions from EC members goes in box 2. And then we have a box for total VAT due, which is just box 1 and 2 added together. And then we have VAT reclaimed on purchases. And then we have the net VAT, which is the difference between box 3 and box 4. So this one is actually box 5. And then below that we have total value of sales, total value of purchases, value of all supplies and goods and related costs to EC members, which is box 8, and then the total value of acquisitions of goods and related costs from other EC member states, which is box 9. So we're just going to ignore those for now, we're just going to concentrate on these ones. The total value of sales in the period is going to be, we need sales returns, and we also need sales. So if we have a look at the VAT due in the period on sales, that is just the sales figure here, so the VAT on sales minus the sales returns of 5,833. We don't have any VAT due on acquisition from EC members. The total VAT due in box 3 is just box 1 and box 2 added together, and then VAT reclaimed on purchases, which is box 4, is just the £100,000 over here minus the purchase returns over here. So we have 99,950. And then the net VAT due is just going to be 3 minus box 4. So in this case, we have an amount due from HMRC of 47,450. But when you actually complete this, you don't want to have a negative. So when you actually fill in the form, you don't put a negative. Just to get that out, I'm just going to put a bracket around here. So I hope you found this video useful. Do consider subscribing because it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, but it will ensure that you don't miss out on any future tutorials. And otherwise, I shall see you on the next video.